Good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to see Unit 2 of Digital Communication, and we are going to discuss in detail about prediction filtering, PCM, that is pulse code modulation, DPCM, that is the differential pulse code modulation transmitter and receiver, ADPCM, that is adaptive differential pulse code modulation transmitter and receiver. So in communication theory, we have already studied about what is digital communication. So basically the digital communication can be either a baseband communication or a bandpass communication. Baseband means we transmit the signal without any modulation. Bandpass means we will be transmitting the signal to the receiver after performing what is called as modulation. So this is the basic block diagram of our digital communication system. So if the information is going to be digital information, directly the input will be given to a pulse modulator. So different types of pulse modulation that are available are pulse amplitude modulation PAM, pulse width modulation PWM, pulse position modulation PPM. So if the input is going to be a character information, then that input will be given to encoder, and then it will be given to the pulse code modulation. Encoding, there are different types of encoding that we have discussed in Unit 1. For example, Huffman coding, Shannon-Fano coding are some of the source encoding techniques that are available for performing the encoding of character information. Suppose if the information data is going to be analog in nature, then the analog signal will be given to PCM, which is a combination of sampler, quantizer followed by an encoder. So the sampled signal will be quantized, and then it will be given to the encoder, and then finally the pulse code modulation will be performed and the signal will be transmitted. So PCM you have already studied in communication theory. So it's pulse code modulation where the analog signal is given to low pass filter bandwidth, which is having a bandwidth represented by B. That basically performs the band limitation, that we call this also as aliasing filter, anti-aliasing filter, which is used to reduce the aliasing process. So the band limited signal is given to the PCM transmitter, which consists of analog to digital converter. Instantaneous sample and hold circuit is used. The output of the sample and hold circuit will be a flat top pulse amplitude modulation. After the sampling process, the quantization is done, where it is converted into M levels of signals. The quantized PAM is encoded, and that is given to the channel. Whenever the signal is transmitted to through the channel, there may be a loss. So to compensate for that, we use the regenerative repeaters. The signal received from the channel is given to the regenerative circuit, and then it is finally transmitted to the PCM receiver, where digital to analog conversion is used. The signal is decoded. Then the quantized POM is transmitted to a low pass filter, which is also called as reconstruction filter, to get back the original analog signal that was transmitted. So the first part in PCM is sampling. Sampling is done based on the Nyquist theorem, which you already know. Nyquist theorem states that the sampling rate must be at least 2 times or twice the highest frequency available in the signal. So if there is an analog signal, if that analog signal is sampled at every TS second, then TS is referred as sampling interval, and inverse of this TS is referred as sampling rate or sampling frequency, represented by Fs. For quantization, sampling results in a series of pulses of varying amplitude values ranging between two limits, minimum and a maximum. So the amplitude values are infinite between two limits. So we have to map this infinite amplitude values into a finite set of known values, that we call as quantization. So this is achieved by dividing the distance between the minimum and the maximum into L levels or zones, each of height represented by delta. So delta is obtained as the maximum value minus the minimum value divided by L. So this is the comparison between sampling and quantization. Analog or continuous analog signal is given to a sampler first. The input to the sampler will be continuous in time and it will be a continuous value, continuous in amplitude as well as time. After sampling, the signal is given to the quantizer. So output of a sampler will be discrete in time, but it will be continuous in amplitude, that is continuous value. Once the signal is quantized, what happens is the input becomes digital, where the signal is discrete in time as well as amplitude. So this is the comparison between sampling and quantization. So before sampling, both time and value is continuous. After sampling, time is discrete but amplitude is continuous. After performing quantization, both time and amplitude will become discrete. So to overcome the disadvantage of PCM, we go for DPCM, differential pulse code modulation. So redundant bits are available in pulse code modulation. So in pulse code modulation, you can see that the input data is sampled at every TS second. So in the diagram you can see the samples are taken at TS, 2 TS, 3 TS, 4 TS, 5 TS, etc. up to 10 TS. So each and every sample is then quantized. So after quantizing, the encoding is performed. The encoded value for each and every bits, you can see it is represented in the bracket as 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. So like that you can see. So if you see this diagrammatic representation, the samples taken at 4 TS, 5 TS and 6 TS is going to have a similar amplitude, and they are all the three amplitudes are encoded again, and we are getting the same encoded value as 110. So all the encoded samples will be transmitted in PCM. So this becomes redundant. So the amplitude is same, the encoded value is same, but it will be transmitted. All the data at every TS second will be transmitted. So this becomes redundant. So all the sample bits are quantized, encoded and transmitted. So this is a major disadvantages of PCM. And in PCM, n number of binary digits are transmitted per quantized sample. Hence the sampling rate is going to be very high. To overcome these two disadvantages, we go for differential pulse code modulation represented by DPCM, where the difference between the samples will be taken and only the difference pulse will be quantized and that will be transmitted. So obviously this will reduce the bandwidth requirement also. So this is prediction. So we predict the present value from the past value, and we compare the present value and the actual value, and we find what is the prediction error. Only the prediction error will be quantized and then it will be transmitted. So for a differential pulse code modulation, other than sampling and quantization, a new term called as prediction is coming into picture. So this is the prediction where for slowly varying variables, the future samples can be predicted from the past samples. So in PCM, along with sampling and quantization, this prediction process also will be done. So what this predictor is going to do is, it is going to predict the present value or the future value from the past values. So a predictor will be added both in the transmitter side as well as in the receiver side. So the difference between the present and the past value will be taken, and error is found out. The error is represented by E of t. Only this error will be quantized. So this predictor is performed by using transversal filter, where you can see the diagrammatic representation. It contains n number of delays with coefficients which is variable, and all those coefficients are added and finally we predict. So y of NTS is the present and z of NTS will be the predicted value. As the number of tapped delay line increases, the predicted value will be more closer to the present. So in practical case, this predictor is designed using a linear predictor, where we have input mk given to the tapped delay line represented by TS, where the coefficients of it is represented by A1, A2, etc. up to AN. all the coefficients along with the delay line are added and we get the output m cap of k. So predicted value is represented by m cap and the actual value is represented by m of k. So the expression for the linear prediction filter is from the diagram you can see m cap of k is equal to the coefficient a1 into the tapped delay line value, that is m of k minus 1, a2 m of k minus 2, etc. up to an m of k minus 1. So as the n value increases, the prediction will be more in general. You can see that quantizer is available next to the predictor separately, where the quantization error will be accumulated. Okay, if there is any error, whenever we say prediction will have some prediction error. Whenever we perform quantization will have its own error. That is, we are basically we are rounding off the amplitude. So definitely we will have some error which we call as quantization error. So that quantization error is going to be accumulated. To overcome this, we go for another implementation, same concept. That is, this is another implementation of the same parameter DPCM, where we have the predictor. The quantized output is the predictor will predict the signal based on the quantized output also. So in this case, the quantization error will not be accumulated, since the predictor is prediction is going to be based on the quantization level input also. Okay, so the receiver part will remain the same. So this is the practical implementation of a DPCM transmitter, where we have the sampled input. The if x of t is an analog signal, that will be converted into a digital signal by taking samples at every ts, which is represented by nts. So sampled input is x of nts, that is given to a comparator, where it finds the difference between x of nts and x cap of nts. X cap of nts is the output of the predictor. The predictor output prediction filter will give the input based on will give the output based on the output of the quantizer and the previous predicted sample. That is the x cap of nts and EQ of nts is added, and it is given as xq of nts input to the prediction filter. Based on that, it gives the output x cap of nts, that is the predicted value. The error EQ of nts is encoded. So basic difference between PCM and DPCM is, instead of encoding the quantizer output, the difference of the samples will be given to the quantizer, and only that error will be quantized and then it is encoded. So we have from the diagram we have E of nts is the error, which is x of nts minus x cap of nts, and we have input given to the prediction filter represented by xq of nts, which is the summation of x cap of nts and EQ of nts. EQ of nts is the output of the quantizer. So we can see that the quantized output will be equal to the actual input plus the quantization error. That is, xq of nts will be always equal to the summation of x of nts, that is the actual sampled input, plus the quantization error, which is q of nts. So DPCM receiver. So DPCM input is given to the decoder, which is containing a prediction filter, whose output will be same as the input that was given at the transmitter side. So the decoder basically reconstructs the quantization error from the incoming binary signal. The prediction filter output and the quantized error signals are added so that it gives the quantized version of the original signal. The signal at the receiver differs from the actual signal exactly by the quantization that we have seen in the previous case. That is, xq of nts is equal to x of nts, that actual sample, plus q of nts. So signal to noise ratio of DPCM. So signal to noise ratio at the output is equal to sigma square x by sigma square q, which is the ratio of variance of the signal to the variance of the quantization error. By multiplying and dividing the above expression by a parameter, that is variance of prediction error, sigma capital E square, we can write that signal to noise ratio, output signal to noise ratio is equal to GP, that is prediction gain into the signal to noise ratio of the PCM. So signal to noise ratio of PCM, we already know that it is sigma square E by sigma square Q, that is the variance of the prediction error to the variance of the quantization noise error. So the parameter GP, that is the prediction gain GP, is equal to sigma square X divided by sigma square E. So the prediction gain when greater than unity represents that the gain into there is a gain in the signal to noise ratio. So signal to noise ratio of DPCM will be always better when compared to the signal to noise ratio of PCM. Since it is multiplied by the gain of the prediction represented by GP, which is sigma square X by sigma square E. So finally, you will see what is the advantages and disadvantages of DPCM. So the main advantage is that since only the difference is encoded and transmitted, small difference voltage is quantized and encoded. So less number of quantization levels, and hence the bits representation required will be very less. Signal rate and the bandwidth will be less when compared to the PCM. Disadvantages, since we are using the predictor, we will have a prediction error coming into picture. And since we are adding one more component predictor, the complexity is increased, practical usage is limited, and the bit rate is very high.